Let's see what happens when you have more than one type of branch on one compound. The thing is, in the name, when you put the name together, you're going to alphabetize the different types of branches. You're still going to number from the end that's closer to a branch. So let's look here. We've got our longest chain here. That gives us these three as branches. We're going to number from the end that's closer to a branch, which is this one. Then when we put together the name, we're going to start with our ethyl. We have two methyls and an ethyl, so we'll start with our ethyl, 4-ethyl. And then for our methyls, we have two locations, 2,3-dimethyl, and the last name is hexane. 4-ethyl 2,3-dimethylhexane, all one word, no spaces in the whole thing. Notice that you do not use the prefixes, and by the prefixes I mean like di, tri, tetra, etc. I did not use this D to alphabetize. I used the M of methyl and the E of ethyl to alphabetize. So we alphabetize by branch names like methyl, ethyl, etc. Okay, another new thing we haven't seen happen before. What if you have a tie for the end? Look at this and see if you understand what I mean by tie for end. Longest chain, a methyl branch, and an ethyl branch. Which end do I number from? There's a tie. From either end, there's a branch on the third carbon, so our normal method won't tell us which way to number. If this occurs, and only if you have this tie, then you go with the branch that is alphabetically first. Okay, only to break a tie. Even on that last one, we had ethyls and methyls. We didn't number according to the ethyl. We went by the one that was closer to an end. But on this one, there is a tie. So ethyl wins. I need to number according to where the ethyl is, which means this is number 1. So when I put this name together, I'm going to start with my ethyl still. Three ethyl, 7-methyl, nonane. This is a good place to pause. There are two structures in a row here that kind of will test yourself. So pause here and work the next two, and then turn this back on and see how you did. This end is closer to a branch, so I'll number from this end. I've got three methyls and an ethyl. I'll start my name with my ethyl because E comes before M, so the name will start with my ethyl. I say 5-ethyl. Then for the methyl, I need to say 3 locations because I have 3 branches. And so for this situation with 2 on the same number 2 carbon, I say 2, 2, 6. Try methyl octane. So watch for this. This is something that is new and hasn't come up. You have a number for every branch. If this is try, you need 3 numbers. It doesn't matter that they repeat. Watch that you're not forgetting this dash as well. Anytime you have a letter come up next to a number, you need to make sure you have a dash there. On this one, finding the longest chain is a little trickier because it's not just straight across. The longest chain I can find is like this. It's bent. Remember, it doesn't matter if it's bent. What matters is that when you count the carbons, you get the higher number. So this way, I got, what, 7? So it is longer chain than if I'd gone straight across. That makes I have now 2 methyls and an ethyl. I'm going to number this one from the bottom because that's closer to a branch. Why am I not numbering from the end closer to the ethyl? Some people want to go back to that. Ethyl, and they want to number from the end closer to that because it's alphabetically first. You only do that if there's a tie. There's no tie here. This end is definitely closer to a branch. So when I put together my name, I'll start with my ethyl. It's alphabetically first. 4 ethyl. And then I need to say 3,3-dimethyl. Last name heptane. No spaces in the whole thing. Again, I don't grade the spacing on the handwritten when you do the handwritten on your exam, but on the online quiz it does matter very much, so I want you to know that. Okay, so we've actually done all of the rules for alkanes, pure alkanes. And once we have that foundation, it's pretty easy to kind of add something to it and come up with names for a new family. And this is what I mean. Let's do this one type. This is a haloalkane. Halo for halogen. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine are the halogens. So this one has a halogen on there, and all I really need to do is tell you what we do to name this as a branch. So I'm going to just find my longest chain. I'm going to treat this like a branch, and then I use what it says here. Instead of a methyl branch or something, this is a chloro branch. And then, like you might imagine, we would number from this end. And I bet you can put together the name if you've been trying these as you go. Be 2 chloro pentane.